Your money isn't running away, you're practically escorting it to the exit. Let's fix that. Fact 1. The habit of mistaking movement for progress. Here's the first money habit that quietly keeps people broke: doing a lot, achieving nothing, and calling it hard work. It's the financial equivalent of spinning a rocket engine at full throttle while still bolted to the launch pad. Looks impressive, goes nowhere. People love this habit because it feels productive. They're constantly busy, always working on something, always planning to start. They create color-coded budgets they never follow. They watch financial advice videos like it's a hobby. They make to-do lists so long they need their own oxygen supply. But when you ask them what actually moved the needle, silence. Maybe a shrug. Maybe a joke about trying again next Monday. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Effort without direction is just a very sweaty form of procrastination. Wealth doesn't come from motion. It comes from momentum, and momentum requires choosing one target, one direction, one action that compounds. If your money habits look like frantic activity instead of deliberate steps, you're not building wealth. You're just creating the illusion of takeoff while your financial rocket stays chained to the ground. Fact 2. The habit of upgrading your lifestyle. Before you upgrade your skills. Most people stay broke because the moment they earn an extra dollar, they immediately look for a new way to spend too. A raise appears, and suddenly the old phone isn't fast enough. The car needs an upgrade, and the apartment should feel more like success. The tragic part? Their skills, income potential, and financial discipline stay exactly where they were last year. This habit is a trap disguised as progress. You feel like your life is leveling up, but really, you're just repainting the walls of the same financial cage. Wealthy people don't upgrade lifestyle first. They upgrade competence. They buy themselves more capability, not more comfort. If you keep rewarding yourself for achievements you haven't earned yet, you're programming your brain to value validation over improvement. That's how people end up with nicer things, bigger bills, and the same paycheck trying to keep them afloat. Your lifestyle should be a lagging indicator of your growth, not a replacement for it. Fact 3. The habit of ignoring small leaks. Because they don't hurt yet. Most people aren't destroyed by one big financial disaster. They're drained slowly by 1,000 tiny cuts they pretend don't matter. The $6 daily coffee, the forgotten subscription, the food delivery just this once, the impulse purchase because it was on sale. None of these sting individually. That's why they slip through. But here's what people miss. Money doesn't vanish in explosions. It evaporates in silence. Big mistakes are obvious. Small habits are invisible. And the human brain is terrible at tracking anything that happens in harmless-looking increments. The wealthy think in systems. They hunt inefficiencies the way engineers hunt design flaws. They understand that if something costs you little but happens often, it's not cheap. It's dangerous. If you don't track your microspending, you're basically running your financial life the way amateurs run rockets. Hey, that tiny crack probably isn't a big deal. Until it is, and by the time you notice, the damage is already structural. Fact 4. The habit of choosing comfort over clarity. Here's a money habit that keeps more people poor than any economic crisis ever could. Avoiding uncomfortable truths because fantasy feels safer than facts. Most people don't actually want to know where their money goes. They don't want to see the budget. They don't want to calculate the real cost of their lifestyle. They definitely don't want to check their bank account after a weekend. So they live in a mental fog, a warm, cozy fog where "it'll work out somehow" replaces actual numbers. But clarity is power. Comfort just feels like power. Successful people force clarity, even when it's brutal. They look at their income, their spending, their weaknesses, their mistakes, not because it feels good, but because they know you can't fix what you refuse to measure. If you avoid financial truth because it stings, the future will hit you harder than the present ever could. Comfort delays pain, clarity prevents it. Fact 5. The habit of treating time like it's free. Poor people think money is scarce and time is abundant. Wealthy people think the exact opposite. That's why broke individuals spend hours hunting for coupons, comparing prices for trivial purchases, driving across town to save $3, or wasting entire weekends researching opportunities they never act on. Meanwhile, the wealthy guard their time like it's the rarest asset in the universe, because it is. Money lost today can be earned tomorrow. Time lost today is gone permanently. The people who stay poor burn their hours on low-value tasks because it feels productive. They mistake effort for efficiency. They brag about being tired instead of being strategic. It's not laziness keeping them broke. It's misallocation. When you trade your limited hours for tiny financial wins, you're playing life on the hardest difficulty. When you trade your hours for skills, leverage, and long-term returns, you're finally playing a game where wealth becomes inevitable. Fact 6. The habit of emotionally spending and rationalizing it. Later, most people don't make purchases. Their emotions do. Stress? Buy something. Bored? Buy something. Lonely? Buy something. Feeling slightly accomplished because you folded laundry? Absolutely buy something. Then, once the dopamine fades, they scramble to justify it with "it was on sale," or "I needed it," or the classic, "I'll be more disciplined next month." Except next month never arrives. Just new emotions, new impulses, and new excuses. Wealthy thinkers don't eliminate emotions. They simply don't let emotions drive financial decisions. They build systems, rules that operate even when their mood doesn't. They don't trust themselves in the moment. They trust the process they designed beforehand. If you keep making purchases based on feelings and explanations based on fiction, you're not spending money, you're paying emotional rent. And emotional rent always increases. Fact 7. The habit of waiting for motivation instead of building discipline. Poor people pray for motivation. Wealthy people engineer discipline. Motivation is unreliable. It shows up when it wants, leaves without notice, and usually arrives only when you're already comfortable. But discipline builds things. Discipline creates wealth the same way rockets escape gravity, through consistent force applied over long periods of time. Every day you act without feeling like it is a day where your future net worth quietly increases in the background. People who stay broke think, "I'll start when I feel ready." People who get rich think, "I'll start because it needs to be done." Waiting for motivation is the financial equivalent of waiting for perfect wind before launching a rocket. If that's your strategy, you'll never leave the ground. Discipline doesn't care how you feel today. And that's why it works. Fact 8. The habit of learning randomly instead of strategically. Most people consume financial advice the way they scroll social media, randomly, impulsively, and without any structure. One day, it's investing videos. Next day, it's budgeting hacks. Next week, it's drop shipping is the future, followed by crypto is the answer, followed by real estate or you're dumb. It's intellectual chaos, a buffet of ideas with no plan for digestion. The wealthy don't learn everything. They learn what they need in the order they need it, with a purpose attached. Their learning isn't entertainment, it's infrastructure. Random knowledge creates confidence without competence, the most dangerous combination. Strategic knowledge creates direction, leverage, and results. If your brain is full but your bank account isn't, the problem isn't intelligence, it's strategy. Fact 9. The habit of asking for advice only after the damage is done. Most people treat financial wisdom like a fire extinguisher, something they grab only after everything is already burning. They don't ask for help before taking a loan. They ask after the loan starts suffocating them. They don't ask how to invest. They ask how to recover from investing in the wrong thing. By the time they're seeking guidance, the mistake has already matured into a crisis. Wealthy thinkers operate in reverse. They gather information before committing. They consult experts, analyze risks, and run numbers when things are calm, because that's when decisions are rational. It's not that rich people make smarter choices, it's that they make choices earlier, when their mind is clear and the stakes are still small. If you only look for direction after impact, you're not learning, you're firefighting. And firefighting is exhausting, expensive, and prevents long-term progress. Fact 10. The habit of confusing debt with opportunity. Debt is a tool, and tools can build bridges or blow your hand off. The problem is that most people treat debt like an all-access pass to a lifestyle they can't afford. They call it managing cash flow when really it's funding comfort with future misery. They take loans for cars that lose value instantly, vacations that last 4 days, and gadgets that lose relevance in 6 months. Then they panic when the interest rate turns their impulse into a lifelong subscription. The wealthy don't avoid debt. They weaponize it. They use it only when the return exceeds the cost. They measure every borrowed dollar like engineers measure fuel. If it doesn't propel them forward, they don't ignite it. Poor thinkers borrow for pleasure. Rich thinkers borrow for leverage. If you don't know the difference, the bank will happily teach you, brutally. Fact 11. The habit of celebrating too early. Most people sabotage their own progress by throwing a victory party before they've actually won anything. They save $1,000 and reward themselves by spending $300. They finish one productive week and decide they deserve a treat. They get a bonus and immediately buy something shiny instead of investing it. Premature celebration is the silent killer of financial momentum. It tricks your brain into thinking the game is already over, that you've done enough. Wealthy individuals delay rewards until after results stabilize, not after results appear. They don't celebrate the first dollar saved. They celebrate the system that produces dollars automatically. They don't reward early efforts. They reward consistent outcomes. If your progress constantly resets because you treat small wins like finish lines, you're not building wealth, you're renting it for short bursts of motivation. Fact 12. The habit of surrounding yourself with people who think small. Your financial ceiling is often just a reflection of your social circle's average ambition. If everyone around you complains about money, fears risk, avoids growth, or mocks anyone who tries to improve, it's only a matter of time before you start behaving exactly like them. Humans adapt to their environment faster than they adapt to their goals. People who stay poor choose comfort in their relationships. They stay around familiar voices, even when those voices limit them. People who become wealthy choose challenge. They actively seek rooms where they are the least knowledgeable, the least experienced, the least impressive person there, because that's where growth accelerates. Your network is either a lift or a leash. And if everyone in your circle thinks small, acts small, and dreams small, your financial future will shrink to fit the room. Fact 13. The habit of building income. Instead of building leverage. Most people focus on earning more money, not realizing that income alone has a ceiling, but leverage doesn't. They chase raises, side gigs, overtime hours, and any tiny bump that adds a few extra dollars to their monthly paycheck. It feels productive, even heroic. But here's the flaw. You're still trading time for money, and time is the most non-renewable resource you have. Wealthy thinkers focus on systems that scale without their constant involvement. Code, content, ownership, investments, automation. These things earn while you sleep. That's leverage, doing the work once and benefiting repeatedly. People stay broke because they never make the leap from "what can I earn today?" to "what can I build that earns forever?" If your financial growth depends entirely on your hours, you don't have a wealth engine. You have a job with fancier packaging. Fact 14. The habit of calling. Every opportunity risky except the one keeping you poor. Poor thinkers call investing risky. Starting a business? Risky. Learning a new skill? Risky. Changing careers? Risky. So they stay exactly where they are, in the safest version of long-term failure. What they don't realize is this: avoiding risk is the biggest risk. Inflation eats savings. Industries die, skills expire, jobs vanish. The world changes whether you're ready or not, and playing defense doesn't stop the scoreboard from moving. Wealthy people don't eliminate risk. They manage it. They study it, calculate it, and move forward with controlled exposure. That's why their lives expand while others shrink. If every opportunity feels dangerous, it's not because the world is risky, it's because your comfort zone is small. Fact 15. The habit of expecting results without iteration. Most people quit right before the breakthrough because they expect success to arrive fully assembled on the first try. They launch one project, and if it doesn't explode instantly, they assume it wasn't meant to be. They try investing, experience one dip, and flee. They attempt a skill, struggle in the beginning, and label themselves not talented. This mindset keeps people permanently in beginner mode. They collect first attempts instead of results. But high achievers treat every action like a prototype. They iterate, refine, and improve relentlessly, not because they enjoy failure, but because they understand that version 1 is just proof of concept, not proof of potential. Wealth doesn't reward perfection. It rewards persistence, optimization, and feedback loops. If you expect success without iteration, You're not chasing wealth, you're chasing luck, and luck rarely repeats itself. Fact 16. The habit of treating money as a goal instead of a tool. Most people chase money the way kids chase shiny objects, with excitement, zero strategy, and absolutely no idea what to do once they catch it. They think more money solves everything. Yet, when they finally earn more, nothing changes. Why? Because money magnifies behavior. It doesn't fix it. People who stay poor see money as the destination. People who build wealth see money as the engine, a multiplier that fuels bigger opportunities. The wealthy use money to buy time, skills, systems, and leverage. The poor use money to buy comfort and distractions. If your financial plan is get more money, then you don't have a plan. You have a hope. Tools don't work unless you know what you're building. Fact 17. The habit of fighting every battle alone. Broke thinkers believe asking for help makes them weak. They assume self-reliance is noble, that struggling alone somehow earns them financial respect points. It doesn't. It just slows them down. Meanwhile, wealthy people collaborate. They hire mentors, join masterminds, build teams, seek feedback, and borrow experience instead of reinventing every wheel themselves. Isolation is expensive. You pay for it with mistakes, wasted years, and blind spots you can't see because, well, you're the one creating them. If you insist on doing everything alone, you'll achieve everything slowly, and money punishes slowness. Fact 18. The habit of wanting transformation without identity change. Here's the final habit, the one that quietly blocks every other improvement. People want a richer life while keeping the same identity that created their poorer one. They want wealth, but still see themselves as bad with money. They want discipline, but still describe themselves as not that type of person. They want opportunities, but still operate with the mindset of someone waiting for permission. Money follows identity. If you don't change who you believe you are, you'll sabotage every upgrade you try to build. The wealthy aren't just people with money. They're people who behave like the future they're creating. So, which of these habits is quietly draining your potential the most? Drop it below. And remember, wealth isn't an event. It's a personality you build, one decision at a time.